Hello there, and welcome to Dharma Science Radio, your one-stop shop for the most foundational perspective on human design knowledge you've possibly ever heard. My name is Ian, and I really appreciate that quote. In correctness, you do not abandon anything. You simply operate correctly. There is room for everything.
And you see, when I first got the knowledge, I thought, wow, I'm going to turn on everybody. It's going to be so easy because it's so simple. It's so simple. This mind, hey? It won't let simple be. Smart people never like simple. I found that out in a hurry. I kept on telling smart people it was simple and they kept on asking for the complexity. It's so simple. And all it takes is the discovery of its truth. This is what experimentation is. You cannot believe or trust anybody that tells you that. You can only find out for yourself. And the moment that you enter into that process, you discover it in a hurry. What kind of a difference that makes. And that's all it takes. And I look out, it's over 20 years now, I watch the movie. It's an amazing thing for me, to see how difficult it is to get human beings to recognize a simple truth, one that they can empirically test themselves, that is so easy to test. And then you understand what it means when I say that this is not universal knowledge. It isn't. I am here to teach anyone who will listen how to be abnormal. That's my work. How to be abnormal and love yourself for it. How to find the beauty of your difference. Oh, how wonderful it is to meet people who are different, who truly can express something that is theirs, I've read everything. I'm not interested in all that stuff rehashed. I don't need somebody to reinterpret for me somebody else. I don't need to sit in discussions of philosophical concepts that have been thrashed around and emptily for ages. Give me somebody's unique perspective. And you see, each and every one of you, this is what you're here for. And you only have a unique perspective when it comes out of a unique life. When you're not normal. When you don't bow down to everyone's authority. When your life isn't ruled by what you think are responsibilities that lock you in, that deny you a chance to see things for what they are, and for you to be correct. In correctness, you don't abandon anything. You simply operate correctly. There's room for everything, but you have to be correct. It's still strategy and authority. And for manifestors, every time you meet one, many of you are professionals, every time you meet one, do what you can to save them. You know, they are, in fact, very useful creatures and have a contribution to make. And it's very hard to get to them. The only way you get to a manifestor is quite literally if you really love them, because it's hard otherwise. to get them to learn about themselves, enough to understand what it is to be okay with being a manifester. And at the moment that the manifester operates out of their strategy, this game that they play, rooted in their authority, you get peace. You do. But more than that, you get to see how wonderful you are. You are. We all come into this life, and by the time we're 10 years old, we think we have problems. We think that other people are better than us. We think that there are things about us that are not good, things about us that we wish we would change or fix. It's so sad. When I first started to tour, and I would do these endless readings with people, the one thing that was so obvious to me is how much they hated themselves, how they would break down, how every time that I would put my finger on a negative in their not self, they'd go, oh yes, that's me, oh yes. And I'd say, no, that's not you. That's what you've been living. That's not you. This is the only freedom for us. You have to be yourself. For whatever it is for me to be a manifester with my configuration and this and that and blah, 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 the only thing that saves me is that I'm correct. And I get my life. My life. I don't care whether other people agree with it, like me, don't like me, this and that, blah. Who cares? I finally have peace. And nobody can disturb that. Nobody can put their finger into my openness and pull me away from my peace. All that's over. And I have learned to see that there's nothing wrong with me, that I'm as good a lover as anyone, that I can express my love as well as anyone, but from a closed aura. My variation on a theme, what to do. And if you don't like the variation, hey, it's okay with me. Find something you like. Okay, that's it for today.
Hello there, and welcome to Dharma Science Radio, your one-stop shop for the most foundational perspective on human design knowledge you've possibly ever heard. My name is Ian, and I really appreciate that quote. In correctness, you do not abandon anything. You simply operate correctly. There is room for everything. They said energy cannot be created nor destroyed. This world is only transformation. Transformation that comes from energy which is generated and regenerated and orchestrated and communicated and conceived of and inspired by, used for survival, fueling emotions, and rooted in adrenal stress pressure. What a powerful system it is to be inside one of these human bodies. And so many people don't have any awareness of the human design body graph. This is really what I'm here for, is to spread the message far and wide. We have the answers. The body graph has been revealed. The secrets are not quite so secret anymore. You see, I have an undefined G center with a hanging 13th gate in the first line of empathy from Saturn. There's a guiding principle in my life, influenced by the secrets of what people have or have not said. I empathically pick up on what is between the lines. And it's the only consistent sense of direction my life has, mechanically speaking.
The biggest problem I was having was getting my head wrapped around all of the content and all of the information held within the human design system. Ian really made it simple for me to engage my curiosity for one, but made it approachable enough to where I felt like I could immediately get value out of the conversation and immediately start applying things to my day-to-day life where it didn't seem like some big puzzle I had to solve. It was an immediate solution to something that I was dealing with in my life. How am I going to apply this with any sense of reality? And he made it so simple and so easy that I have now been on another year and a half since that first meeting with him and my first introduction into human design. And it has really given my overall life experience and the quality of my conscious experience a great boost, and overall something I would highly recommend to anyone else that's early on in their years or even months sometimes, like I was at human design.
I've been following Ian for about a year now, and I got the chance to work with him recently. The way that his knowledge of human design expands when you're in his presence to fit what you need exactly is something that is a joy to work with and a joy to see live in person.
Oh my gosh, this session was so unique because Ian really made it feel like I didn't have to worry about expectations. I didn't have to have a certain outcome be a certain way, and really helped me understand that I could just kind of ease my way into this. And he was so conversational about it that it felt like I looked up and the time had gone so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be as much value as it was for as easy as it felt.
I definitely recommend getting a reading, getting a chance to work with Ian. He's one of the kindest souls I've met and has a really firm grasp on the information in human design. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend working with Ian for anyone that is wanting to have someone that will be both there to nurture your curiosity about human design and the fun things that you can explore about it, but also will challenge you and push you in a direction that will get you up and moving and using it in your real life. I think more than anything else, if you want to not just mentally know this system, if you want to understand how to apply it and use it and see immediate results, Ian is the person I would recommend for that. I think it is important for people to remember that this is an experiment. It is not something that you can try without trying. Like you can't get the flavor of something unless you've chewed it up and swallowed it, right? And this is one of those things where Ian does such a wonderful job of making each thing that you're experiencing understandable and allows you to apply it with repetition. So it's not just a one-time thing. You learn how to build really good habits and how to build really good ways to honor your own authority in your own life. And from there, he lets you go and then you can fly. It's pretty remarkable how well he sets up my overall experience within human design for the purpose of changing my life, which it really did.
Because the reality is I simply operate in a wave, in a generated ego, adrenal, emotional wave. And it's never the absolute truth. I can see it so clearly. It's the power of energy in motion, these emotions constantly swirling and swirling and swirling and swirling. And so as I wait, as I breathe deep, as I have patience with life, I learn to see what is true enough for me. And it's called relative clarity. This is my inner authority as an emotional being, that I must wait for clarity. You see, I feel so strong. There's so much that goes on in my head as a result of the feelings that I directly experience. And when I was younger, oh my God, my head used to be so stressed. I used to think I had to figure it all out, that I had to make decisions with my mind, that I had to make up my mind. My God, what a torture. I had such bad acne. I was stressed out to hell and back. The thing is, I'm a receptive personality with strategic unconscious. I can't compete with the strategic personalities. I'm not here to compete with them. The way in which I function is radically different. Maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't. However, if you have a right tonal fixing, that's a 4, 5, 6 tone in your personality motivation variable, that's the top arrow up there, aiming to the right, then you don't have access to your memories. You don't have access to the intelligence inside of you on your own. The world has to pull it out from you. You see, as a receptive personality, I am simply taking it all in. The wholeness of life itself, I am always taking it all in. And so I pay attention to the best of my ability. When I was younger, I was distracted to think strategically. And so what I was taking in was mostly based on the thoughts I was thinking about things instead of the facts of the matter, the truth right in front of my eyes. And how distracting that was. I can't compete with those of us who have strategic personalities. It's very different. The strategic personality is not simply taking it all into this infinite storage bank within. The strategic personality, if you got a 1, 2, or a 3 in your tonal fixing on that top right arrow aiming to the left, the strategic personality builds memories like puzzle pieces. You got one piece of information, you got another piece of information, you got another piece of information. Now you've started to triangulate, and now it turns. And then that connects with another triangulation, and another triangulation, and another triangulation, and now you've got a clockwork gear turning mechanism. It's called your ability to conceptualize strategically. And if you're born to do that, you know what you're thinking about. You can see it in your mind's eye. It's obvious. You're working with these clockwork gears. You're working with puzzle pieces that you can shift and move inside your head and do different things with. Visualization may come very naturally to you. You can conjure whatever you want up in there based on those details that you're focused on and how they work with each other. I can't compete with that. I simply have the wholeness of life inside me. It's very different. And you see, the thing is, it's very different for a reason evolutionarily. The strategic left is here to pull from the well of the depth from the receptive right. You see, there's so much information stored inside me, I can't simply give it all to you here and now. It's not possible. I don't get to choose what comes out of me. It simply flows like a river. I get to watch it just like you do. And it depends on who I'm around. It depends on what information sources I am taking in that determines the quality of what I'm able to share with you. This is why since I was a child, I've always been listening to intelligent people online. I grew up listening to Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, Bashar, and then Sadhguru, and now Ra'uruhu. I just need to take it in. Let me take it in, and now I can finally understand. I can finally have something valuable to communicate and contribute to the collective. In this Saturn return of the Clarion, the 5-1 costume, here to deliver the goods. I got a message, and I'm here to let you know you were born perfect, and there's nothing you could do to get in the way of that. How sweet. Isn't that sweet? The truth of the matter is, while I can accept that life is perfect, exactly as it is, there is a dramatic difference between what it means to differentiate and what it means to be homogenized. And the cards are stacked, you know? The game is rigged. The house always wins. Homogenization is the backbone of our society. It's what allows the food trucks to deliver food on time to all the cities. It's what allows the internet to communicate and connect all of us right now, right here. And that's why I say it's all perfect. Because without all the good, all the bad, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And so you dear manifester, I know you've been through a lot. I know people speak about you behind your back. And I hope it doesn't bother you so much. I hope you have access to peace within yourself. I hope you know who you are. If you don't, I'm here for you. I don't expect you to respond. That's a generator's game, after all. However, if you'd like to learn more, I do invite you to reach out. This is truly the greatest joy I've ever had in my life, is sharing this knowledge. Like this in front of a camera is new. Simply in front of a camera, speaking to myself, speaking to you in this way. For me, it's very new. It's been a challenge to see what gets pulled out from me. The highest joy is when I work with somebody one-on-one, because then everything I say is specifically tailored to exactly you, that individual right in front of me. No one else is like you. And I'd much rather speak to you than the masses. They're very good at misunderstanding me. So I stopped caring. They can misunderstand me all they want. You see, I have Neptune and Uranus in my personality resonance square, both 54th gate, 6th line. This is selectivity in ambition. And this means that people will talk shit about my ambitions. People will talk down to me about what lights me up. And that's how I know I'm on the right track, is that there are those who disagree. There are those who don't believe. And I could not care less. And I wish the same freedom for each and every one of you. If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.